All right, we continue our 2020 Battleground series with North Carolina. North Carolina has become a swing state in the 2020 elections on a national and a state level. While Democrats hold the governorship, Republicans have control of both the state House and the state Senate. And on a national level, back in 2016, Republicans led the general elections when then presidential candidate Donald Trump won over Hillary Clinton in the state by a little over 5%. But now President Trump and former Vice President Biden are running a pretty close race in the state. A recent poll by Rasmussen has Biden holding a 4-point lead at 50% to 46% for President Trump. And President Trump's job approval rating is at 45%, and his disapproval is at 54%. It's also home to a key Senate race where incumbent Republican Senator Thom Tillis is defending a seat he won from Democrat Kay Hagan last cycle against now Democratic challenger Cal Cunningham. All of this as North Carolina's Democratic governor is being challenged by Republican opponent Lieutenant Governor Dan Forest in the gubernatorial race, where coronavirus is actually shaping the election for both candidates. While Governor Roy Cooper initially received bipartisan support for his handling of the coronavirus, the intense public health versus economic health debate has pushed many Republicans to criticize him for reopening too slowly. This all on top of the Republican National Convention that had been planned for August in Charlotte, now mostly moving to Jacksonville, Florida. Joining us to talk about all of this is the chairman of the North Carolina Republican Party, Michael Whatley. Mr. Chairman, welcome to the show.
It's great to be on with you, Sean. I hope everything's going well.
It's going great. Thank you very much. Man, you guys are like the epitome of a target state. You got a tight presidential race. You got a tight gubernatorial race. You got a tight Senate race. And then, of course, you got some House seats that are up for grabs. But walk me through those top three. Presidentially, you're on defense, right? You want to make sure that you keep the state for President Trump. On the governor's race, you're on offense. You want to take it back. And on the Senate race, you're playing defense. You want Thom Tillis to get reelected. So give me a lay of the land as far as where we are in those three races.
Sure, and I'll tell you this, from the state's perspective, from our party's perspective, and the candidate's perspective, we feel like we're playing offense in all three races, and we want to play offense in all three of those races. When it comes to President Trump, we look at where we are across the board with the numbers. We like where we are. We have not yet had an opportunity really to see the president versus Joe Biden one-on-one. We haven't had a chance to see them in the debates. And I really think that that's going to be a very crucial fact for us. We did win with a fairly healthy margin in 2016 with President Trump. We feel that Hillary Clinton at the time was a stronger candidate than Joe Biden is right now, and that the president's support for the economy as well as the military, we have a significant proportion of our population, our soldiers, military families, and veterans, and the president has stood tall and fought for them every single day. His America First message really resonates very strongly. So we feel great about where we are with the governor's race. Similarly, we feel the same about the Senate race. We've got Thom Tillis, who has served on the Armed Services and Veterans Affairs Committees, standing tall every day for North Carolina soldiers, military families, and veterans. He's also been a member of the Judiciary Committee, where he's ushered through over 200 of President Trump's lifetime judicial appointments and really remade the federal courts, including the Supreme Court. So that's a very vital thing that our voters are taking a look at, and they do appreciate the work that Senator Tillis has been doing with it. On the governor's side, Governor Cooper has really, we think, stumbled hard over the last 4 months with the COVID virus. As you mentioned, there was definitely an initial reaction across the country for us to have a lockdown and people to figure out what's going on. But over the course of the last couple of months, while the president has focused on reopening the economy, all of the other states have been moving forward with the economy. We're still in the midst of a lockdown here with Governor Cooper. We do not know what's going to happen when our schools are going to be allowed to open. We do not know when restaurants and bars and gyms and other activities are going to be able to open and people are going to be able to go work on that. In fact, we right now as a state,
Chairman, how's your ground game there? How are you guys? What are you doing on the ground? How is it compared to the Dems game?
Yeah, we're light years ahead in terms of what the ground game looks like. We have over 150 folks in our Trump Victory North Carolina GOP field work team, and we're recruiting and training volunteers right now. We're registering voters right now. When the curtain came down, the COVID curtain came down, we switched over to a fully virtual platform and field platform. So we're starting to get people back out into the field, but we're making phone calls at the rate of about 500,000 phone calls a week right now that are going into homes all across the state, and we're very ready to hit the door with it. But our ground game right now, we're light years ahead of where the Dems are.
All right, we only have about 30 seconds, but I got to ask you real quick. Speaking of the House race, Madison Cawthorn, we had him on our show a few weeks ago. Awesome guy, awesome story. If he wins, he'd be the youngest congressman representing the House. What would that mean for North Carolina?
I think it's tremendously exciting. I mean, Republicans really do have the voice of the young and have the young millennial voters, and having Madison in there as a strong arch conservative to be able to go toe-to-toe with AOC and the rest of the folks on the Democratic side of the aisle, that's going to be great to see.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. We're going to obviously check in with you a lot as we go forward in this election cycle and see where we are in all of these races. So thank you for being with us.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks, guys.
North Carolina's Republican Senator Tom Tillis is here to give us his take on his race against Democratic challenger Cal Cunningham. Don't go away.